Today, it is normal to see people choosing different religions and following specific beliefs as an integral part of their lives. There are usually no restrictions related to the decision on what religion to practice, but understanding the historical backgrounds, morals, and metaphysical views remains critical. This essay compares Hinduism and Buddhism and reveals what religion could be defined more as an ideology. Hinduism is one of the oldest and largest religions globally, but not much credible information on its foundation is available. Buddhism shares some common characteristics with Hinduism because it is one of its offshoots. Both religions were rooted in India, but compared to Buddhists who follow the teachings of Gautama Buddha, Hindus addressed the writings created during many centuries. Despite similar attitudes toward the cycle of birth, the concepts of karma and dharma, and the worth of meditation and yoga, Buddhism and Hinduism differ in their foundations, focuses, and other religious characteristics. One of the main differences between Hinduism and Buddhism lies in their foundation processes. As one of the first world religions, Hinduism or Brahmanism history deserves attention and recognition. There is no particular date or year when this religion appeared, and it is impossible to say who was its founder or author of the major books Vedas. Most historians and scholars use the period between 2300 BC and 1500 BC for its development. Hindus rejected the necessity to identify dates or names because they believe that Hinduism is a timeless faith that has always existed. When the first Indo-Aryan people migrated to modern-day Pakistan, the Indus Valley, they had to share their language and culture with the local civilization. Thus, it is hard to define Hinduism as a single religion but as a combination of thousands of religious groups whose traditions and beliefs were transcribed in the Vedas from 1500 BC to 500 BC. Old and new concepts, rituals, and lifestyles were defined in 4 Vedas, namely the Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, and Atharva Veda. Talking about the dates of the Buddhist foundation, the researchers give more specific dates and names. In the 6th century BC, Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha, proposed a new doctrine turning into a meaningful religious movement by his followers after his death. Gautama came from a wealthy family but gave up all his riches and chose poverty to liberate his soul from suffering. His reformation aimed not to introduce a new order but to restore the already known beliefs and achieve enlightenment. Hinduism and Buddhism are similar in terms of their Indian origins and in understanding the concepts of samsara, karma, and dharma. For example, in both religions, the teachings should penetrate the eternal law or dharma and follow a universal truth that has been stored as the major morale for centuries. Hindus and Buddhists were also ruled by the doctrines of samsara, which represented a continuous cycle of life, death, and reincarnation, and karma or the cause-effect law. Being differently practiced, yoga and meditation were the preferred physical and mental disciplines and skills that worked for social order. Rituals in Buddhism and Hinduism were based on mantras, but the latter used them to worship gods with sacrifices and chanting, while the former facilitated their concentration with no violence or obligation. The differences between the religions can be traced in their readings. Hindus underlined the chosen priest, God, minister of sacrifice, proving the beliefs in God and the caste system. In Buddhism, vice versa, castes were forbidden, and no beliefs in gods were appreciated. Regarding the rules that require expiation or pakatiya, speaking disrespectfully is wrong, or being angry or displeased with another bhikkhu is not allowed. Not directly, but these regulations promote equality, compassion, wisdom, and awareness but remove any metaphysical views. There is no need for Buddhists to explain the origin of human existence but address the current experiences and cyclic processes. Hindus use absolute monism to support the connection with the Lord, their spiritual thirsting, and intense devotion. Soul liberation is a strong belief in both religions, but its achievement depends on the chosen means, rituals, and practices. Considering the offered findings, definitions, and comparisons of Buddhism and Hinduism, it is also important to understand the difference between an ideology and a religion. Religions usually refer to God or several gods, while ideologies are based on the chosen truths and realities. Thus, it is correct to say that Buddhism should be defined more as an ideology than religion because Buddhists reject the presence of any god in their lives. At the same time, any religion includes a particular source of authority, usually divine and powerful. In Hinduism, one god, Brahman, is recognized, while in Buddhism, no metaphysical values of existences are followed. Therefore, Hinduism is more a religion than an ideology, and I relate my spiritual and moral outlooks to this faith where God motivates, supports, and never directly interferes with human life. The differences and similarities between Buddhism and Hinduism do not reveal their weaknesses or strengths but prove how diverse and critical human beliefs can be. These religions are old, and their origins are not always easy to trace, but their impact remains significant for modern people, ideologies, and theological studies. Rituals, morals, and metaphysical views may vary, but the essence of life, death, and reincarnation unites Hindus and Buddhists and make them physically and spiritually strong. StudyCorgi.com has everything you need for successful studies. Writing tools, informative articles, and essay samples. Come check it out.